Okay, a couple things I'd like to tell you about fertilizing your yard. The first thing is, someone once told me that if you want to become rich, do what the rich do. If you do what the rich do, you'll become rich. I've never done what the rich has done, so I haven't become rich. But advice that I did get from that is, if you want a pretty yard, do what the people do that have a pretty yard. So somebody said, like one of my neighbors one day told me, well, I'm not going to put a number 35 on my grass at this time of the year. It'll burn it. Well, look at their grass. Their grass isn't very pretty. And I'm not talking about anybody that lives around me, so my neighbors call me up, I can't believe you said that on YouTube. No, it's not like that. This neighbors before. Anyways, what I'm getting at is a lot of people like to give you advice and they're simply misinformed. So somebody might say, well, don't put a number 35% nitrogen on your yard. Only use an 8 at this time of the year. Well, what I would have to say is, well, what does their grass look like? So does someone at a home improvement store or at a garden center, do they even own a house? Or do they live in an apartment and they're just giving you information that's misinformation? So I have a very pretty yard. It's not really yard of the month. It's more like yard of the millennium. So if you want to have beautiful grass, take my suggestions. Lots of water, mow every week or twice a week on the highest setting on your lawnmower, and fertilize every other month using a fertilizer that has a high nitrogen content and like a 4 or 5% iron content, and that's going to really thicken it and really green it up. So that's my suggestion to you. Water every single day for at least 20 or 30 minutes. Here in Texas, in Houston, Texas, where I'm located, I water at nighttime because it's just simply too hot to water during the day. And I fertilize every other month, and I always do it right before a big rainstorm. So you see it kind of looks like it's cloudy outside. That's because I put the fertilizer on hoping that it's going to rain tonight. And if not, I'm going to put a lot of water on the grass. So I'll make another video in a few days and I'll show you just how green the grass is. But for right now, here's what it looks like. This is St. Augustine grass in Houston, Texas. And now let's walk to the front yard and I'll show you what the front grass. And here's a video of what my grass looks like in the front yard. Okay. Absolutely beautiful from fertilizing it every 2 months. Let's come over here. Okay, we are at Home Depot, and what we're going to be looking for is a good fertilizer to put inside of our yard. So what you want to do is you want to come into the fertilizer section of the store, and you want to turn to the back of the bags, of all the bags, and what you're going to be looking for is some numbers. There's always 3 numbers on the bag. If you look right here, there's 3 numbers. This one says 32010. So whenever you turn to the back, that's going to mean the total percentage of nitrogen that's inside of it is the first number. So what is not listed is how much iron is in there. So what we're looking for is the one that has the most amount of iron. So this one comes with 2% iron, and that means it's going to green up the grass with the more iron that it has. So what we're going to do is look through all the different bags and see which one has the most iron content and the highest amount of the first number, which is going to be nitrogen. So this one has a 29, and you come over here and you see this one has a 26. So don't just look at the name brand or the price, because you can see this one is a name brand and look at the price is $31, but whenever you look what's in it, it's only a 26. So here's a good one right here. I like this one because it's a high number of 25, and then let's see if it has any iron. Okay, it's only a 1% iron. And then here's a really good one right here. It's only $14, and it has, okay, so here's a good one right here. Let's look at this. The number is a 35, which means that's how much nitrogen is in it. And then let's turn it over and see how much iron is in it. Oh, it's saying 5%. So this one has 5% iron and 35% nitrogen. So that's going to really green it up. And look, it's only $14. So it's almost half the price of the other and has a lot better goodies in it. So you can see here, this one is $41 and it's a good one. It has 29, but it doesn't contain any iron. So just make for sure that you walk through all the different ones in the store and read all the different labels. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the fertilizer onto the grass. Here's what the grass looks like right now. I'll go ahead and give you a view of what my backyard grass looks like. There we go. And it's pretty thick, as you can see. And we're just going to green it up a little bit. And the key thing with this is always pour the fertilizer into your spreader on the cement. You don't want to pour your fertilizer, like don't put this over here, because then if any of it accidentally falls out of here on here. So always fill it up over here on the cement or somewhere away from the yard so that you don't burn the grass. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do is hold the spreader with one hand and just walk back and forth like this and fertilize the whole yard. You don't want to put too much. Putting too much will cause it to burn. And just go all the way through the yard. And I like to do it exactly just like I mow it, and just walk like this and continue. And then once you finish one side, you turn around and go back to the other side. And it's actually very simple. Okay, a couple people have wanted to know exactly how thick the grass is. So here we're going to measure it, and as you can see, it's 12 inches thick. So that's pretty unbelievable. So just for those of you out there that are wondering how thick the grass is, it's 12 inches thick.